Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Titan Chain Snow Tire Chains ladder style with steel rollers here on our 2020 Chevy Silverado 3500. Now, if you guys are having issues either with just state compliance or if you are starting to run into some snow trouble, these can be a quick and easy solution to start getting us back on the road. Now, these steel rollers aren't going to be the toughest bite into that snow and ice. However, they are going to be doing a good job of just giving us that little bit of traction that we are going to get needing on those big highway drives. Now, these are primarily going to be for road use only. They aren't doing a good job if you are going for any kind of off-roading. However, they are going to make for a nice smooth ride for ourselves. So if you're just looking, again, as we said, for state compliance or just starting to get us going, these can be a great little solution. The steel rollers do make for a nice smooth ride, and this ladder style is going to give us a good nice start and stop feature as we go down the road. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. So as you mentioned with these steel rollers, as you guys can see, they are going to give us just a nice gliding feature here. Now that's really going to kind of tamper into our bite capability. It's not going to be pulling through any very thick ice and snow. However, for a lot of our light duty practices, these are going to be doing a great job of just giving us a little bit of traction. As we mentioned with that ladder style, as you can see, I'm fitting a whole hand in between each of these spokes of our chains here. So again, that's giving us really nice start and stop without sacrificing too much of our mobility. However, as we are hitting those turns, keep in mind you are going to feel those kind of bumps as we are going. So that definitely is going to be impacting our driving just a little bit. You will notice too that we have these positions so that we don't have any of our bite going into our sidewall here. And I would like to point out that I think without a rubber tensioner, these aren't going to be a viable option as we break down in our installation. However, I definitely recommend picking these up at etrailer.com as they are going to be taking a lot of that excess play out. Well, the installation is going to take no time at all. Let's go ahead and take a look. For the first part of our installation, we're going to go ahead and lay out our rollers. As you guys can see, big things to take in note. We want to have these tabs on this side of the tire. Just makes it a little easier for us to make our connections. And as well, one big thing to notice is our positioning of these rollers. Now, it's a little harder to see from where you guys are at, but you can see where these kind of flips are. We want those tabs pointing away from our tires, especially like here. We want this going up because I'm going to set this across our tires, and we don't want those sharp points poking into our wheel, causing any kind of damage. You're going to notice a flatter side on one side of these rollers. So then we get that laid out. I make sure there's no kind of issue, and I think that's kind of one of the advantages of the rollers. You're not gonna have to fight those kinks and then, you know, with those chains, nothing really binding itself up. Usually gonna do a good job of staying just like this. And then we just simply wanna take our chains and start placing it across our tire. Getting it underneath. Now we can go ahead, meet on the underside, and make our first connection. First things first, I want to make sure I'm not going to have any interference with the top of our rim here. So you can see nothing really in the way of our tire chain. Then I'm going to take my back connections here. I'm going to start fitting this through. I'm going to try to make it as tight as I can on this back connection, just to really take a lot of the play out. I'm going to go for one more here, fit that through. Then we actually want to make sure we are kind of fitting this into this little side bracket here. So we don't want this popping out either. So go ahead, fit that through as well. And go ahead and make sure that that's nice and out of the way. As you can see, not going to be bumping around, causing any kind of damage. Now we can jump to the front. Now we want to come to our front connection and repeating that same process as we saw in the back. There we go. And then we want to go ahead and take our extra and slide it right through the end there as well to make sure those aren't flapping around while we are driving. You can see there is going to be just a little bit of play here, so I'm actually going to go ahead and add myself a rubber tensioner. Now with this guy, we want to make sure that we are having these hooks pointed out. I like just kind of fraying them all out, making sure I'm in the right direction. We don't want that hook going into our tire, so we just simply want to hook in like so. And then kind of doing like a star pattern, much like you would if you were putting on lug nuts. So we want to get this force distributed evenly across our chains. We want this all pulling to the center. And it doesn't take much time at all. And as you can see, that does a good job of taking all that play out. Now we're getting really kind of nice and tight on our wheel. Well, as you guys can see, that tensioner is doing a good job of taking off a lot of that excess play. In fact, in my opinion, without the tensioner, I don't really think these snow tire chains are going to work for us. I think this tensioner is necessary. As you can see, you are getting just a little bit of play here too. These rollers able to slide down. However, it is going to do a good job of biting through that snow with no problem, especially because we are going to be using this guy for a lot of light duty instances. Well, as you guys saw, that installation took no time at all. I definitely recommend trying it out in your garage a few times, especially that way you're not trying out for the first time while you're stuck in that snow and ice. It can be a real bother. However, I think the steel rollers really start excelling at how easy they are to get on. As you saw, those connection points took no time at all, but I also think that's one of its disadvantages. As you saw, it's not going to be a really tight fit. It definitely is going to work, especially just going down the road. However, it's definitely something I'd be conscious of. Definitely not going to be great for any heavy duty applications, and especially because we have to get this rubber tensioner to make it work, that starts kind of putting it at exactly what I would get. However, if we are just going for that state compliance and very lightweight duty, I definitely think this guy is going to do a great job. Well, I think that about does it for a look at the Titan Chain Snow Tire Chains ladder style with steel rollers here on our 2020 Chevy Silverado 3500. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.